Then we should be live for the next Just Fucking doing episode with Falko Nelson. Welcome tonight, Falko.
Hello there. Thank you, Manuel.
Really
glad to be here.
Glad having you as last but not least guest in that row of 7 artists during that lockdown special this week. I'm usually saying a little bit in advance. So what's the format all about? This format is about encouraging people to follow their dreams and not just dream about the things they want to do in life, but also make their visions reality. And basically, you are your own limitation. And this is also something I'm really looking forward to what Falko contributes to tonight, because he has a really interesting background, not only musically. And this is for you basically. So you see people that do what they once dreamt about and now do for a living, to encourage you to also follow your dreams and do what you like. And before we start with the song, Falko, I'm playing my jingle and then we are getting started.
All right.
Hier triffst du Menschen, die einfach mal machen. Just fucking do it. Gespräche mit mutigen Vorausgehern.
So even this was in German. The sound is clearly a dragster starting on the quarter mile. So it's about getting the horsepower on the track. So Falko, it's your stage now.
All right, Manuel. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Whoever is watching and wherever you're watching, great to be playing for you. I feel honored to be part of this Just Fucking Do It podcast from Manuel. I think it's really important what you're doing here to give a stage and to spread that message of self-empowerment, which we will gladly discuss after I play the song. The first song I'm going to play for you is actually... I think it's one of the first songs I wrote, so it's a special one. It's called One Day. I gave all I got, I gave it every part of me. I know that it's not. I'll find another melody. One day I'll see. One day it will all come back to me. If all I feel never is enough for me, if what I want is a surreality, one disbelief, one day I will find the trust in me. So tell me all that I've been looking for. Show me how to handle all the sore. One day I'll get it right. One day I'll be in love, alright. Will I ever break this circle? Will I ever come around? Will I ever have the courage to take this armor down? One day I'll figure out how to turn this thing around. So tell me all that I've been looking for. Show me how to handle all the sore. One day I'll get it right. One day I'll be in love, alright. For everything I couldn't be to you, I'm sorry. For everything I couldn't be to you, I'm sorry. Sometimes I lie awake, wondering if you found the love to make. You dreams and all your fantasies come true. I'm hoping down the line you'll say that everything turned out just fine. You found the one who didn't run, who's holding you tonight. Tell me all that I've been looking for. Show me how to handle all the sore. One day I'll get it right. One day I'll be in love, alright. So tell me all that I've been looking for. Show me how to handle all the sore. One day I'll get it right. One day I'll be in love, alright. It's not a quest of wanting more. I never meant to do you wrong. I'm just trying to get it right. One day I'll find my way in life.
Thank you so much, Falko, for this really nice opener.
Thank you. Yeah.
So where are you? Yeah, first one.
First one.
Warmed up now.
Yeah, warmed up.
First nervosity is streamed away now.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you streaming from tonight?
I'm actually streaming from my house, my home studio, if you will. As you can see here behind me, I have this very nice setup. Normally I sit exactly the opposite way around, but for tonight I created this setting. Yeah, this is where I wrote a couple of songs I'm going to play tonight, and yeah, it's a cozy room, you know. I live in Amsterdam, and we live next to the park, which is a blessing, especially in times like these when, yeah, you spend a lot of time at home, you know. So it's a blessing then to be able to walk outside and take a stroll in the park and just see and breathe nature, because, you know, living in a city, you live in Munich, it's sometimes hard to be surrounded by concrete and by stones, and you're like, wow, I need nature. And I have that, so I'm blessed to have that. Yeah.
So this is where all your music is being created then, in that corner, or do you have a studio or something like that as well?
Well, I create on different spots. I used to live in a different house with my best friend, and I also wrote some songs with him, and we have a studio there, and I also have another place where I create, and yeah, sometimes you're out in the streets, and then some inspiration comes up, so it can also be creative on the street, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where's the place that you are most creative?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow. You know what? This might sound a little strange, but I think I must say the best inspiration I've gotten is in my dreams. Yeah. I've gotten a lot of good inspiration in my dreams, and in that in-between state where you're like sleeping, you just woke up, but you're still like kind of sleepy. That's actually my most inspiring state. Yeah, and I guess inspiration is not so tangible. It comes and goes whenever it wants, and it comes actually at moments where I least expect it. So whenever it comes, I have to be there to channel it or to catch it and to put it down somewhere, because otherwise it's just a wave that goes by, and if you don't surf or ride the wave, then the wave's gone, and you can't really get back on it if you want to. So you have to take the moment, and well, sometimes that's when I'm sleeping. Yeah.
How do you record these ideas then in these moments that they don't get lost?
I use my dictaphone on my phone a lot. There's like tons of drafts, ideas on that, and especially when I'm sleepy, I record those early ideas, and then sometimes the next day I'm listening to it and I'm like, wow, what was I? What was my? Sometimes you record something in a semi-sleep state and you don't record it thoroughly, and then you can't really get back to it. But most of the times when I listen to it and I hear a couple of notes, then it all comes back and I can sit behind the piano and figure out the chords and start writing. Yeah.
So do you sing it then in your phone, or is it text
Yeah.
snippets, or what? How can I imagine that?
Yeah, it's mostly melodies. So and sometimes whole lines of text, and sometimes it's just a melody and then a rhythm, like a kind of a composition basically, and then the words just have some words, but it mostly like a melody line, a la 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 la, something like that. That was one day I just played, but yeah, it comes in different forms basically. It comes in different forms.
Do you remember in which situation you wrote your first song where it came up?
Yes. It was actually yeah. I would love to share something about that. That was after I've just broken up with one of my ex-girlfriends, and it was kind of a situation where I felt, I guess felt pretty bad about myself. I felt guilty, and I also was wondering, like, am I ever gonna get it right? With relationships and love, it's is it ever gonna work out for me? Knowing that I had a big part in it, so that's hence the feeling guilty and feeling, yeah. So, and I remember vividly sitting on her couch, and one of the verses just popped into my head, and yeah, I was sitting on her couch and starting to sing that, and she went to the bathroom. So of course it's pretty strange when you've just like kind of broken up with someone and you start singing a song on their couch, So I kind of held that to myself, and then I went out and I recorded that piece, and then I remember vividly when I came into the house, and that was when I lived in another house, and where we had the studio. And I came into the studio and I started playing that, and yeah, so kind of at that moment that song came out, and yeah, as I said before, it's sometimes in the least expected moments you get this inspiration.
So it's also like memories that of things that you experience that go through your head and then make their way into your songs, where they actually get how you say verarbeitet, get
Processed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. That sounds kind of true. Yeah. Mm.
Would you say that's the way most musicians make their music, or do you think it's different from your perspective, especially in your, or you, if you look on the way you mostly write your songs?
I don't actually know how a lot of other people write, but I guess it comes in different forms. For instance, some people I know they just write autobiographical, which is not the case for me. I often have some autobiographical things in my songs and some not, because well, I'm also working as a counselor, and so I've talked to many people and heard stories of many people, and I guess when you have this kind of empathetic button, and you can feel and empathize with feelings, then yeah, writing can also be describing a particular situation between two other people, you know, and it doesn't have to be something I lived through necessarily. Yeah.
So, which are the most common topics your songs are about? Is it a mixture of everything, or is it mostly sad songs, or mostly love songs, or how would you describe your music?
Well, the the things I've written myself often involve love relationships, and I never thought about becoming a person who writes about love a lot, but it happens to be so. It's an important subject in my life, and in the collaborations I've done, other things come out, but in the songs I write, it's mostly about relationships, love, and I've noticed that I write a lot of ballads also, and I guess I always had this kind of idea about people that write a lot of ballads. I don't know, it's kind of soft and blah. So I'm still kind of getting used to the idea of me writing a lot of ballads, you know. But the most important thing for me with writing music is that that it feels nice, that it feels good, and that I like what I'm playing, and so you can't really. I think I want to honor what I create in that sense, you know.
Does your music differ then when you are talking about corporations?
Yeah, that's very strange. I'm fascinated by the human psyche, you know, and I'm fascinated by how the psychological side of being is, and how we work as human beings. And I've noticed that whoever you cooperate with, collaborate basically with, they all trigger different parts inside you. So when I collaborate with person A, I get different results than when I collaborate with person B. And when I write by myself, I also get different results. And so this is also when you're in a relationship with someone. That's why I think we have many friends, because in every friend we have, another part of ourselves is being addressed, and that part can come out and can be seen and can be in contact with another person. And I guess it's also the same goes for music collaborations. And I think it's really interesting because I'm always excited when I'm going to work with someone, like, oh, what's going to come out? I really have no idea. And that's the fantastic thing about creation, I think, and collaboration also.
Absolutely, yeah. That makes it interesting also to I mean, explore new musical how to say, musical experiences, basically, to find out where does this lead me.
Exactly.
So pushing different buttons, basically. So in both ways, actually, you're pushing the psychological buttons of the person you are working with, and vice versa, and then something new is being created out of it within the process of music. So, I mean, even from the starting point, when you're starting to collaborate, I mean, then it's just a starting point in itself, and then it evolves somehow. And
it's amazing. It's amazing if you get into that flow, you can create things together. When you look back, you're like, how on earth did we create that? Like, we have no idea, but we were just in a flow and it came out. And that's I think the magic of life, basically. Yeah.
Do you always have the recording button pushed, or are there moments where just a jam or some incredible musical moment comes up that is never been caught on tape and just present in the moment and lost forever to be been replayed?
I have not many experiences like that. I have actually no experience in that area. I mean, I'm not the kind of jam guy, because, or not yet at least, because well, my background is a very different one than music, and I never learned to play an instrument, for instance. So I'm right now I'm in a phase where I'm learning to play the piano, and I compose on the piano, but I'm actually learning it as an instrument, and I want to put a lot of more time and effort into that. But you know, when you start out as a pianist, for instance, or a keyboardist, and you can join jams and you just play away, and you're like in the groove, and you're in the flow, and then things come up, and you're like, wow, that was sick, you know, but we didn't record it. But that's not my background, you know. So I hope to have those moments in the future. Absolutely.
You will.
Yeah, there's a kind of beauty, I think, to that, because that makes it so unique when you're jamming with people, and something something just arises, and you can't grab it, but it's there, and you can only enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a connection of people through the way of music, basically. So how is your songwriting then taking place? So is it mostly you sitting in the corner and listening to the things that you recorded in the morning and then writing your own songs, or do you present it to somebody then and say, look at this, and do you have an idea, or how does that work?
Interesting question. Yeah. Well, sometimes I just sit casually behind the piano and just like goofing around a little bit, and all of a sudden I play something and I'm like, wow, this is nice. So I'm gonna play that, and then I record it, and then something comes out of that. So that's spontaneous creation. So it's not always from earlier things on that I recorded on my phone, but I do. For instance, I'm working with a producer now, Steve Johnson, and yeah, he's also my publisher. So I present ideas to him, and I also present a lot of ideas to my best friend Jerry Bloom, which I've also written fantastic music with, and we've actually created a song with those two guys. And we're going to get back later tonight on that one. But so I always find someone to present the idea to, and but not in the beginning. So in the beginning, I just record it, I leave it, then I get back to it, because then I have fresh ears, and I'm not so hyped up about the first inspiration, and then I have a kind of a more objective ear to it, and then I can kind of say, okay, that's strong, that needs a little more improvement, that's still not good, and this is really good. And so then I'd like to craft first and then present it to someone else. Yeah, I guess I do that because you know, if you present something too early to someone outside you, then you can get feedback that can get you into another direction, you know. Oh, sorry. You can get feedback then that can get you into another direction, or get you off the track you were on. So things can then interfere, because yeah, everyone's creativity is different, and we all make different choices. Songwriters make different choices when they write their music. So yeah, I first want to craft my own thing, and I don't have to craft it like in the end when I want to release something. It's not, to me, it's not so important that I have to have thought of everything myself. You know, absolutely not. I just like to make great songs with great people, because that's beautiful, I think. You know.
Talking about songs, before I ask some more questions, do you want to play another song for us?
Definitely. Yeah. Which song I'm gonna play? All right, I have an idea. if I should walk on the face of the moon, I would build a fortress to keep you from harm. If I be rich and had more green I could spend, I'd give you everything that money can't. Show you treasures of old. If I could see what nobody else knows, I'd uncover secrets, oh yeah, and share wisdom untold. Now if I could travel beyond borders of space and time, raise every error by foolish mankind. If I could breathe in caverns of deep blue sea, I clean every ocean and restore every reef. And if I be a hero and had nothing to lose, I'd fight every battle and take every bruise. If I were a god, I'd turn ashes into trees and bring back the perished that suffered in vain. If I could change the world, break history lines, I will let nobody be enslaved, lose their dignity in life. Oh, if I should rule the world, I will let nobody ever suffer. I bring the world together, sharing all that we're given. But oh, if I should die, I will come back an eagle. I fly the world, watch over lands, bringing food for the hungry. There would be no famine, there would be no suppression. The fortune of the 500 taken away. There would be no killing, there would be no molesting. If only I could tear down this madness today. But I'm just a man, fragile as man can be. I'm just a man with a dream. Yeah, I'm just a man holding the key. I keep fighting for my dreams of freedom and peace.
I love this song. I love this song.
Thank you.
I remember this song having it was played when you were in Munich when we met
Exactly.
last year. Yeah,
Exactly, in that beautiful bar in the cellar. What was the name again? Oh,
I don't remember the name. It was the
shit.
first time I was there. I haven't been there before, so
Oh yeah. But it was a beautiful night. That was a beautiful night. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, and such a pleasure that we met there. And yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
the day before or so, I mean, I even didn't know Cooper, and just a few weeks before, I didn't know Ryan. So it just
Wow.
happened to take place somehow, and now we're all connected and all being part of this podcast special. So before I forget, to everybody that listens out there, we have set up a PayPal money pool. So everybody that enjoys what we do this week, please feel free to leave a few
Thank you.
bucks in that PayPal money pool. So we have something to distribute to the artists. Because yeah, it's about the current situation. Also, not being able to play on stages, not being able to play in pubs like the one that we just talked about, because everything is locked down, and yeah, the public events that we used to have before are not allowed or not possible at the moment. So I'm yeah really glad that we have the opportunity to use a platform like this and have these technical possibilities today. So to connect all over the world and spread a little love through music.
Exactly. Yeah.
So thanks for this beautiful song.
You're so welcome, and thank you for offering the stage with your Just Fucking Do It podcast and your highly sensitive life coaching, right?
Yes,
Because
exactly.
that's where the initiative started, right?
Basically, yes, yeah. I mean, it's basically the podcast started as a part of my journey to myself. Basically, a few months ago, when I had a fear of showing myself, basically to the public with what I do. So before I was working in IT sales, so I was selling products of other people. And since 2 years, when my personal development started, and I was taking care more of myself, and then also discovering things like self-doubts and limitations, but also
Mm.
ways to grow beyond myself. And then one stage was basically, yeah, showing what I'm doing and what I am now, what is the thing that I have to give to people. And yeah, and I realized, okay, to give people the chance to show what I do, I need to show myself. And there was a limitation, and I wanted to overcome it. So I started a podcast series, basically
Wow.
talk with people that are already there in a stage of in a certain stage of their individual journey,
Mhm.
that already overcame some of their limitations. And that's the stories that I want to share with people, that it's everybody's own limitations and that you can choose to overcome them. Yeah, just with a, be it setting up your own podcast if it's about showing yourself, or
Wow.
working with a psychotherapist or coach, or whatever thing you have that you want to grow beyond their limits. And that's a really interesting thing, because Falko, when we met last year, we didn't know that we are basically working in the same profession.
Exactly. We just found that out like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So how was your way before playing music, working in the yeah counseling industry, basically?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's very, very beautiful to hear your story, and yeah, I think it's very brave of you that you're doing what you're doing right now. Since yeah, what you've just told, I mean, props to you on that. Really,
Thank you.
it's very inspiring. It's very inspiring, I think, for everyone, because you're really putting yourself out there, and yeah, that's, I think, the best antidote to fear is just fucking do it.
Yeah, and every time again, because I mean that fear stays somehow, but it just gets lower. And
Yeah.
believe me, every time I push the live button, the bigger, the more known the guest, or the bigger the audience that I expect. Even it's virtual, because I'm always talking to the same screen, so I do not see the other people. But it's
Mhm.
sometimes I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, I'm going live in a group with 15,000 people, and my heart goes like boom, 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 boom. But yeah,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time collecting a new experience.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, I recognize that. I'm every time I'm going on stage, or if it virtually or live, I get nervous, and still, yeah. You know, sorry, your question just now. What was that again?
Yeah, the question was basically how you came to do what you do in the counseling industry. So talking about the story besides the music.
Yeah. Um, well, I I used to be in process consulting before I went into counseling. And basically, I've had this huge curve around to music, because I never believed that music was, I could do music. I never believed that. So that was always kind of a dream, but I never took it serious enough because I just didn't believe in myself, you know. Is the audio kind of failing here?
Yeah, there's a little noise inside at the moment, but yeah.
All right. So I started off doing other things, and next to music, my biggest passion is, psychology, spirituality, personal development, basically. I think it's fascinating, and so I really wanted to work with people. So after being a process consultant for a couple of years, I decided to start another basically education as a counselor, and I studied 3 years for that, and then I started my own practice, and that was really fulfilling. It was really fulfilling and super interesting. I got to work with a lot of people, and I was happy that I was doing that work because it comes so natural to me, you know, talking to people, and maybe if you have that empathetic button, which I talked about earlier, that maybe that is one of the characteristics of highly sensitive people. I don't know, could be, you know, because I consider myself a highly sensitive person also, you know. So I guess it's a power and a weakness at the same time, you know. It has pluses and minuses. And right now I'm still working with people who had a CVA, so a vascular accident in the brain, and it's a different group of people, but it's the same amount of fulfillment you get, because you can be of support in a time when someone else needs support, and just listening and just being there and recognizing someone's pain or someone's anger or someone's grief or feeling of powerlessness is already healing, you know. It's already so.
So you're working with older people then that lost their memory somehow. Did I get that right?
Well, they had a hemorrhage or a bleeding in their brain, so they call that a vascular accident in their brain, and so it might be that they lost their memory, or that they cannot talk properly anymore, or that they just get easily overwhelmed by all kinds of input, you know. Those people have pretty serious limitations on their life. Think about not being able to go to birthdays, not being able to do a normal job because it's just too overwhelming. So I basically support those people to find a job that suits their circumstances and that suits their capabilities and their limitations.
That's sounds like a really important work, and also with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. And it's very fulfilling, and it's beautiful to be there in a certain phase, and then to see someone get stronger and pick up their life again, and then to be able to how do you say that, to help them be better themselves, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and so you have did you study psychology then, or before you came to that profession, or what was your development path?
I did I think we might, before I play another song, we have to fix that audio because it's kind of. I studied for counseling, so I did a psychotherapy course basically, for which is normally 4 years, and I did a first year, I did only coaching, and then I did the first 2 years of that psychotherapy course, and then after 2 years you're a counselor, and then you can do like you're basically a psychotherapist light. I mean, I don't call myself a psychotherapist, I call myself a counselor. So, but you do light psychotherapy things.
Probably it's similar to the Heilpraktiker psychotherapy in Germany here. So that's basically, it sounds similar to me. So it's like a dedicated course just on a specific area within all the psychotherapy areas. I mean, probably that the things that I learned is that mostly working with people that have fears or neurotic, how you say it, and probably not with the area yet that you just told. That's also because that's going back to a physical damage. So
yeah, I don't do a lot of counseling with my current clients though, because I don't do my own practice anymore. So the counseling work, I'm not doing that anymore. I usually do or mostly do coaching now. So I limit to coaching, and with the focus on getting back to a job that fits and getting back into society, basically. Yeah.
So is that on a self-employed basis then, or do you work for a company?
I work for a company now, and I like that. I've been self-employed, and I must say I really like working for a company now as well, with colleagues, and just have a team with together you build. And I guess I can, and I have a fantastic boss, which helps enormously, because I honestly thought I could never work for an employer after quitting my old job. But with my current employer, it's possible. He's like, he's the best employer I could ever ask for. So I'm really thankful for that.
Be happy for that. I mean, if it fits, then it fits. So it's really great. Yeah. So and how did you develop your music then? Was it just a hobby that and at which point did you decide to put it more on a professional ground?
Well, it was a hobby, definitely. Was always a hobby. I started, I think, about 12 years ago with singing. And my best friend Jerry Bloom, I met him, and he heard me sing for the first time, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, you have a nice voice. We should do something together. We should like play live somewhere." And I was super astonished by that. I was like, "Wow, really? Okay, let's do it. I love it." So then I started playing. Sorry.
No, it was just cracking in the microphone.
Okay. And it was a hobby for a long time, because I didn't really believe I could do it, and I had all these limiting beliefs, you know. I don't have a musical background. I don't have a musical family. I never learned to play an instrument. Very few people make it in the music business, so I'm too old. I had like tons of limiting ideas around it, and I guess I took until now to basically break through those, and I just started singing, started playing the piano a little bit, and singing some more, and so practicing some songs that I loved on the piano. And then as the years went by, I started to get therapy myself. Also, that was a part of my education as a counselor. And I started peeling layers of myself, and with every
like an onion. That's always
absolutely.
the comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more layers I peeled off, the more I came to I started working on my insecurities and on my self-doubt, and I also have had a huge fear of showing myself, you know, and just being who I am, basically. I've spent a lot of years of my life trying to be someone that I thought I should be, instead of just being me. And maybe that's a lifelong journey. So I'm not saying I'm totally I totally, I never do that anymore. I'm not saying that, but I solved most of that. I turned most of that around, and we're sitting here now. And yeah, this when I met you last year, I just had wrote a song. Can we talk about a Christmas song already?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. I wrote a song, and it turned out to be a Christmas song, and it was right before I went on the tour with Cooper through Germany, and I played the song, and I really liked it, and I felt that I wanted to release that song this year. So in January, I wrote an email to Never Square Music, the publisher I'm with now, and I sent it with the demo of the Christmas song. I was like, hey, because I knew him. I had met him 3 years ago, I think, Steve Johnson. And so I wrote him an email, and I said, I wrote the song. I don't know what you think of it, but if you like it, I would love to work on it and release it this year. And well, he was enthusiastic, and now we're here, and next Friday that song is actually going to be released, and it's going to be my first official release under Never Square Music Publishing. So that's fantastic. For me, that's a very big deal, because I never believed that this was possible for me. You know, I saw everybody else do it, and for another person, I'm just probably just another guy, another artist who releases a track. You know, what else is new? But for me, it's a very big deal, and yeah, I'm super thankful.
Yeah, I'm thankful as well, because I still remember you playing that song last year in that bar also.
Nice. Yeah.
How did it come that you actually took a Christmas song?
Yeah. I always get that question.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, what should I do?
Yeah.
Christmas song probably.
Yeah. Well, this was also an inspiration from a dream. So I woke up with a melody in my head, and I was not so impressed by the melody at first, actually. So I heard the melody, and I was kind of waking up, and I was like, yeah, that's nice. Well, let's go back to sleep, because I was laying so nicely in bed, you know. And then all of a sudden I got this pinch in the back, as if something was pushing me to do something with that inspiration. And it was not my girlfriend, because I was looking right at her. And it was really in my back. And so I got up and I started recording that melody, and then I went back to bed, but I couldn't sleep anymore, because that melody started to build up, and the songs wanted to come out. So I went to the piano and I started writing the song, and whilst writing it, I realized it was a Christmas song. I never thought of that. But it kind of makes sense, because I love Christmas. I really love the warmth and the snow and the lights and the coziness around the fireplace. And yeah, I love it, really. And I love Christmas songs as well. I'm the guy who sings Christmas songs for 3 months, you know. I'm literally the guy who people get crazy about, like, stop singing Christmas songs, man. It's February. That's me. Yeah.
That's really nice.
So it just came out.
Do you want to give us a little teaser? Because I have heard that there's something coming out really soon.
Yes. Absolutely. So 4th of December, next week, Friday, it's going to be released on all digital platforms. And I'm going to give you a very exclusive sneak preview right now. Yeah, I'm excited to share this with you guys. Not be on the same side, but that's alright by me.
You're a kind of a mystery. Every time that I look in your eyes, I just can't help but to be mesmerized by your smile. I'm swept off my feet. 'Cause honey, there's a kind of magic about you, and I'm slowly starting to see that you are all I ever imagined perfect love would be. All the time I'm thinking of you, it's becoming clear to me. I hope you're spending Christmas, I hope you're spending Christmas with me. Even though.
So this is the music that is running in all the supermarkets within the next few weeks, right?
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah, I remember the hook line of the song, but it sounds really different now, being recorded in the studio with the drum line and everything.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
remember the acoustic piano version that you played back then.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope to play that within the coming month somewhere as well. That would be lovely.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna play. I would love to play it now, but this was the sneak peek, so it's still very exclusive. This is like the first time that everyone has ever heard it, like in a public setting. So it's pretty special. So yeah, next week, December 4th, on I think 6 a.m. in the morning, Central Eastern Time, on all digital streaming platforms. And you can go to my website, falkonelson.com, and sign up for the newsletter to keep in touch and to stay updated about everything. So yeah, really excited.
Keeping us curious.
Yeah, there's a lot more coming. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm very excited to release more material, and yeah, in January, the next thing we will start releasing more songs. So
Is there an album planned already?
yeah, maybe an album, but as right now, I think singles. So it's just like releasing songs and just yeah, we'll see. I leave it up to whatever is feeling right at that moment, you know.
So how did you perform your music in the past then? Was it basically based on occasions where you had the chance to play somewhere, or?
Yeah. Well, actually, Jerry Blue, my best friend, he's I think he is one of the big reasons I'm sitting here today, playing for you and talking to all of you. So yeah, a special thanks to him, because he kind of gave me the recognition and the self-confidence also that I really could do something. And he introduced me to people, he introduced me to live shows, he asked me to be part of things that he was asked for. So yeah, it was through him that I really could step into that world, basically. And he's a fantastic creator. He's the magician. I like to refer to him as the magician. And yeah, I'm very thankful for him, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here today. And I guess we all need that kind of help in life, you know, whether if it's a person or whether it is a book you read, or it could be help in many ways, I guess. But I was lucky to have him teach me things about chord progressions, and yeah, it's amazing.
As a kind of external inspiration somehow to keep growing and keep overcoming your limitations and showing yourself to the outside, start producing a Christmas song and releasing it, and going into Manuel's podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, he actually produced the Christmas song. It's co-produced by Steve Johnson, but Jerry is the main music producer of the song. So, and it wouldn't sound the way it sounds now if it wasn't for him. So this was a fantastic collaboration. I'm really proud of the result we delivered, and yeah, we worked hard on it. We worked with a lot of love and dedication. Yeah, we were, when it was summer, we were in the studio working on this Christmas song. It was crazy.
So you already started in the summer with Christmas songs.
Yes,
Ending in
absolutely.
February, so there are just 2 or 3 months left in between without Christmas songs.
Exactly. Luckily, I like Christmas, right? Yeah.
That's great. I like that story.
Mhm.
Coming back to the point, I'm still curious about the point where you actually decided to really show yourself.
Mhm.
So talking about that self-doubts and limitation thing, I mean, looking at the personal development surrounding that we are working in. So do you remember the point or what changed in your life where you decided, okay, now is the time to switch that? Just like me, starting with the podcasts, you being going into, now I'm taking my piano, going to the street or wherever, to the next pub and start playing.
Wow, that's a good question. I have an answer for you, but it's quite elaborate because it wasn't really a point.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I think it definitely has to do with the fact that I started with that was almost 2 years ago. I started with self-recorded affirmations and auto-hypnosis tapes, which I recorded myself. So I got really into that, and I searched on the internet for people who explained the best way to do that, because I realized, like, I mean, the most fascinating thing about a human being is that we have this conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and they're two totally separate things. Of course, they're connected, but things happen in our subconscious which we are consciously not aware about, and this is a fascinating thing. But you know, if you're lucky, what comes out of your subconscious is self-approving and self-empowering and stimulating and positive. And if you had a different programming, then what comes out of that is limiting, and it's fearful and judging and judgmental and all sorts of things like that. And so I started to experiment with reprogramming basically my subconscious mind. And yeah, that summer, after I started that, I did that for intensely. I used to listen every evening while falling asleep. When your brain waves start to change, I listened to these tapes, and I recorded some messages on that. And it was that summer, coincidentally, that I decided, okay, I'm gonna step forth with Falko Nelson, me as an artist, and I'm just gonna do my own songs, and because I feel that I want to do that, and it's time. And looking back on that, I'm like, was that total coincidence, or was it connected with one another, you know? I don't know, but I do think that that those auto-hypnosis things and self-affirmations helped. Yeah.
So usually it's the way, working with your own limitations, or that you come to a point where you recognize, okay, something wants to change in your system or should change because you're unhappy with anything. I mean, either it's going away from something or moving towards something, and basically either the one or the other drives you to change something in your life, or you are driven because something else changes around you and you just need to react, which is probably the passive way, but the better way usually is the active way of engaging changes.
Mm-hmm.
So and then what happened then? So you did then take your piano and recorded songs, and or did you start, okay, now I want to go on stage, or how practically looking, what happened?
Well, it was funny because I've learned in life, when you decide on something and you set your mind to it, then it starts to come to you. And it was 2 months later, I guess, when I met Cooper in London. I met him a couple of years back in Amsterdam, but I met him in London because I was visiting the brother of my girlfriend there, and I told him about where I was in my process, and he said, "Hey man, I'm doing this mini tour in Germany and like basically through Europe." He was going different places, but he said, "Why don't you join me on my Germany tour this winter?" I was like, "What?" Yeah, let's do it. I was scared as hell, you know, but I just said, I felt that I needed to catapult myself into that experience because that is what I had chosen, you know. So now it was time to do it, to just go ahead and do it.
So you felt ready to take that challenge, basically.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And yeah, so then that winter I met you.
So, and here we are.
Here we are. 1 year later.
That's really great.
It's crazy how things can go. It's wow.
I'm really looking forward to meet you again. Just this is the feeling that is coming up at this moment because all these memories are coming back to my mind, thinking of last year when we all sat together there locally and just connecting on that level. And
I like looking back on that experience, I wish I had more time to connect with all of you because it was kind of overwhelming and we had little time, but I would love to come back and just meet you in real life again, man.
We will do that definitely, Falko. Yes. Either the one way or the other. Either I'm coming to Amsterdam or you're coming here, and Cooper and all the people coming together as well. But thinking about the situation that you just described, at least I was playing in a band as well, and usually it's always the same. So in the beginning, you're always looking forward to it and prepare and start advertising and talk about it and telling your friends and everything. And it's the fun and how you say Vorfreude. So you're looking forward when something is happening, and then it's happening, and you're really enjoying it. And then suddenly it's like over that fast, and then when you're in the mood that you want to talk to all the people and getting connected, because then everybody knows who you are because you were on stage and playing and you were experienced the people, and then suddenly everybody leaves and it's talking, and you need to pack all your stuff and clean up the stage, and then it's suddenly over, and you thought like, okay, what has just happened? It was so fast.
Yeah, I know that experience. Yeah.
And I guess we are already also at that point within that podcast episode, Falko. And I mean, we basically are not limited in time, but I do not want to steal too much of your time. So how about...
I'd love to be here.
Yeah, me too. So how about playing another song?
All right, I'll play you another song, all of you. But I think I have to fix the audio first. Let me just reconnect my audio interface, right?
Of course, yeah.
So, all working good?
Yeah, sounds clean, and I know how it is. That's the disadvantage of the high sensitivity, because you get disturbed of these little noises and cracks, and it really makes it harder to concentrate. So
absolutely, yeah. All right, so this is actually the last song I'm going to play for you guys. I want to thank you all very much for tuning in tonight and listening to us, Manuel and me having a chat and listening to me playing. I'm very happy that I could share my songs with you, and also to give you a little sneak peek, very exclusive preview of the Christmas song that is coming out on December 4th. So please follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and go to my website, falkonelson.com, to subscribe for the newsletter, or actually it's a mailing, it's not a newsletter. Who wants news these days? To keep you up, I'll keep you updated there. So this song is called I See You.
in times of trouble, in times of love, in times when life's a little rough, when you wonder what happened, if you trust yourself at all, yet it doesn't resemble everything you are. Sometimes I stumble and I fall, wondering if I have the strength at all. But then you look at me smiling, saying, honey, just believe, and we let the wave flow back into the sea. Now sometimes I don't mind the fall, and sometimes I want to throw it all, and sometimes I feel love and sometimes I'm numb. But then I look around and I see you, yeah, I see you. In times of humble and confused, when nothing seems to be what it used, when you look in the mirror and everything you see is just a reflection of who you used to be. In times of questions profound, in times when views are broken down, how you're searching for answers, yet the more you search you see the truth is a daughter of a make-believe. And now some people say that love is blind, but this love is from another kind. 'Cause if I lose myself from time to time, she looks me in the eyes and says, I see you, yeah, I see you. Whoa, you know I see you. When you give your best shot and you lose, when you fight your battles, but then again you bruise, getting up again, you breathe it in and take another strike, then you're getting the best of you. No, not in this life. Now someday when you're older, you'll look back on your run, you'll only be sorry for the things you haven't done. So I won't hold my heart back, I'll take a chance, allow myself to grow. 'Cause everything will become easier. You don't have to suffer, you're so much more than you know. Just don't be fooled by your cover, don't be fooled by what you know. So much more to discover. Allow yourself to become more than what you are. Yes, everything will become easier. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Falko. I so much enjoyed this evening. Actually, this whole day, it was so crazy.
Thank you so much. I also loved it.
It's so good to be connected, and I'm really looking forward to see you again. And yeah, jam together, and connect together on all levels, and sit together, spend some time. And
That'd be awesome.
I really appreciate having you here, and all people out there having watched us and listened to us. And I guess there would be so much more to talk about.
Absolutely.
But it's Sunday evening, and I guess some of you have to work tomorrow. And yes, I want to remind you, if you liked what you heard today and the last days. I mean, all the artists that I had in my podcasts, it's recorded. It's on YouTube, on Facebook. You can watch it everywhere. Please feel free to use the PayPal money pool and leave some money. You can see how much is in it, who spent something. And I would really love to see much more people leaving some money in it, because music is something that is invaluable for everybody. And especially in these times where we all want just to be connected and actually just sit at home in our living rooms. And the best thing we could do is connect on platforms like these with people that all share the same desire. And I'm really looking forward to be able to do that in person again. Falko, thanks so much for having you. Thanks for your inspiration, for your music. And looking forward to see you again. If you want to stay for a little after talk, then feel free to stay online. I will say goodbye to all the people out there.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Be well. Bye-bye.